The Empire has reigned over the galaxy for the past 19 years, and during that time, Darth Vader was a hallmark of their reach. Tales of a tall, destructive entity had reached the farthest corners of the known space. Even the Sand People of Tatooine had a frightening tale to relay about the Dark Lord. Yet, those stories mean almost nothing now, for Darth Vader is no more. Following what has become known as the Battle of the Executor, Vader perished along with his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Though Kenobi had ensured the Jedi had a future, training the children of his former Padawan to be the next generation, Emperor Palpatine, on the other hand, had no immediate choices after the death of his apprentice. And how could he? Order 66 and the Jedi Purge saw to it that all potential Force users were dead or submitted to become Inquisitors. Despite this, it came time to push the Empire forward, to treat the wound caused by the loss of Vader and squash this rebellion and their newfound Jedi. The first step to doing so involved Grand Moff Tarkin. The Emperor had issued an extremely rare summons of the Grand Moff to his office on Coruscant, and Tarkin wouldn't have dared to be late. The slow elevator ride to the top of what was once the Senate building was chilling. The Grand Moff had never faced the Emperor following such a crushing event, and he had no clue what he would face. But once the doors opened, there sat his leader. Palpatine ushered his hand forward, signaling for Tarkin to take the seat in front of him. Once he had done so, the Emperor rose from his and watched over the sprawling city planet behind him. I built an empire, one that is meant to last for generations, to cement myself as the all-powerful force that I know I am. The Empire is to be autonomous. I laid the groundwork so that my admirals, my generals, my Grand Moffs could not fail me. Palpatine shifted his gaze to Tarkin. Yet, these past few weeks have been nothing but a failure. The rebels attacked Scarif, and their director critic was lost along with the plans for the Death Star. The Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, returns from the grave and kills my apprentice. Somehow you, Tarkin, have survived through it all, and these failures now fall upon you. My lord, silence. You will only listen. Tarkin felt as though every word he had ever spoken had been forced down his throat. He took a deep breath as the Emperor continued. Kenobi trained 2 Jedi, the orphaned Organa children. You have one mission, and if you fail, it will mean your life. Bring me the Jedi. Palpatine's piercing yellow eyes struck deep within the soul of Tarkin. The Grand Moff rose from his seat and bowed before his Emperor. It will be done, my lord, he said. He turned about face, leaving the office of Palpatine. His journey back to his Star Destroyer was one of great levels of thought. He shifted through his mind how he would exactly capture the Jedi. The Death Star would certainly be an option, but if they are to be captured alive, that firepower would be unnecessary. Yet he remembered an old tried and true method of finding someone: bounty hunters. Once he returned to his shuttle, he made contact with one in particular. Not long after was a slave one docking on board his destroyer, and emerging from it was Boba Fett. Greetings, bounty hunter. If Tarkin was being honest with himself, sending a bounty hunter was beneath him. He fully believed that the might of the Empire was enough, yet being in this position, it showed him that the Empire can only dig into the cracks so far.
You need a pair of Jedi. My services are yours.
Boba still remembered his encounter with Leia during the Battle of the Executor. The young woman looked out of place in the heat of battle, and Boba made the mistake of underestimating her. He knew what to do the next time he saw her.
I'll handle them for you, for the right price.
If you kill them, there will be no price, bounty hunter. These Jedi are to be captured alive, and by our forces. Your job is to search and report only. Do you understand?
As you wish. They'll be found, and you'll have all the glory you desire.
Fett soon left, leaving a sour taste in the mouth of the Grand Moff. Tarkin knew that this had to be the way forward if he were to succeed in the Emperor's mission. The search for the Organa children had begun, and the targets of that search were on the 4th moon of Yavin. There, the pair undertook one last training session with one another. Leia's skills with a laser sword had increased to a point that had shocked her brother. Beneath the shock that Luke had, he knew his sister was fully capable of such a feat, and soon pride replaced shock. The training would have to take a pause, as Han Solo along with the Wookiee Chewbacca interrupted. Hey you two, the Falcon's all loaded, and we're getting ready to take off for Bespin, so if you're coming, get a move on. Would you calm down, you furball? Make it quick. Chewie's getting restless. Solo and Chewbacca headed back for the Falcon, and the base on Yavin 4 was alive as ever. The reason being was an evacuation. With the defeat of Vader, one would think they would settle down, prepare for the next phase. Yet they all knew that the Empire's vengeance can be swift and gruesome. And with a planet killer like the Death Star still looming in the galaxy, staying in one spot could mean the end of the rebellion. As Solo approached the Falcon, he caught a rare moment with Mon Mothma. The senator from Chandrila was moving quickly, making way towards her ship when she traded words with the captain of the Falcon. Captain Solo, we hope to hear good news from Bespin. If your friend proves any use, the rebellion will owe you a great deal of gratitude. Yeah, don't let all your crate eggs hatch just yet. Where should we head after we finish there? Our scouts have indicated Hoth as a viable location. It should have been sent to your navigation systems already. Soon an honor guard approached Mon Mothma with news that her ship had been prepped for launch. She nodded in approval as she wrapped her conversation with Solo. Well, we all have places to be then. May the Force be with you, Captain Solo. Yeah, you too. Solo gave a salute as the senator rushed away, mixing into the chaos of Yavin again. Chewbacca stepped down from the ramp of the Falcon. They'll be here any second. Solo turned just in time to see Luke and Leia dashing across the courtyards towards him. See? Now am I right, Or am I right? The pair of Jedi rushed past Solo, both apologizing for their timing, as Solo noticed two droids trailing behind them. Wait a second. No one mentioned any droids. Who the heck are they? Luke turned back to answer. They belong to our father. The little astromech is R2-D2, and the protocol droid is C-3PO. The protocol droid approached Solo. Hello, sir. I am C-3PO, Human Cyborg Relations. It is an honor. Not now, 3PO. Luke signaled as the protocol droid did his best version of running to get on board, all to which Solo took a deep breath and followed. As they all settled in the cockpit, Luke saw it time to thank Solo. No, we all can't thank you enough for doing this, Han. No one thought you'd stay after the Executor. Neither did I, kid. Now strap in. We're headed to Bespin. The Falcon soon took off and made way for the planet. As the ship reached space and jetted into hyperspace, Solo turned to his Jedi passengers and let them know it was going to be a long trip, so settle in. Luke decided to partake in using an old training remote they found in Obi-Wan's belongings. Leia, however, decided to meditate. She found a quiet spot that didn't look as filthy as any other on the ship and nestled in. She had turned to this ancient method quite a bit ever since the death of her master Obi-Wan. She found it helped her free herself of any worries about the past and the future. Though this time, something felt different. Leia felt another presence with her, as if someone were sitting beside her, and before long, a familiar voice echoed through her mind. Leia. Her eyes widened with shock, as the only words to leave her lips were, Obi-Wan. Before she could gather her thoughts about what had transpired, the Falcon began to rock and sway as it was forced out of hyperspace. Leia and Luke both arrived at the cockpit at the same time, and Solo gave them the answer to their question before they could even answer. A gravity well generator yanked us out, which means we might be in Imperial space, so this might turn into a bumpy ride. Han then snapped back, looking at Luke. Hey kid, I hope you're a good shot. There's a gunner seat in the lower deck. Get down there. I'll be with you in a second. Well, what do you want me to do? Leia exclaimed as Luke was already running off. Han sat up from his seat as he ran to get in position too. I hope you're a good pilot. Sit down with Chewie and don't get us killed. Han was soon out of sight as Leia took up the pilot's seat next to Chewbacca. She eyed over the controls and grew a bit worried. The Falcon was a Republic-era ship with controls that weren't up to date with what she's used to, but she strapped in nevertheless. The radar indicator started flashing red as it picked up a handful of ships headed their way. Leia reached for the comm system to relay the information to her brother and Captain Solo. We have a squad of 4 on the way. Start flying, we'll start shooting. Hey Luke, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Almost as soon as Luke gave his personal stamp of readiness, the unmistakable sound of TIE fighters rushing by confirmed what they already knew. Leia and Chewbacca zoned in as the Falcon began darting around the space, while below, Han and Luke returned fire to each TIE that attempted to take them out. One TIE managed to get a scorching hit on the broadside of the Falcon, something Solo was none too pleased about. Hit my ship, will ya? The smuggler kept a steady eye on the targeting computer as it brought that very same TIE into the view. But here's a little payback! Solo fired the cannon as soon as it confirmed the lock, and in seconds the TIE was gone. An explosion of a second TIE fighter let Han know that Luke was carrying his weight on the other cannon. Great shot, kid! Keep it up!
We have to get out of here soon.
Leia chimed in over the comms.
They'll keep sending fighters, and we can't keep this up forever. At least not in this hunk of junk.
Han decided to let that hunk of junk comment slide for now as he responded. Get us out of range of that gravity well generator. We should be able to jump back into hyperspace. Chewbacca roared as he took it upon himself to get that task done. Leia watched the indicator as more fighters were on their way and more laser fire hit the Falcon, causing some internal damage. R2, get on that! Leia shouted as the little astromech rushed over to assist.
Hey, Chewie!
Han came back over the comms.
Now would be a good time to get us out of here. We're almost longer than you need. Wait! Luke, get ready. Ready for what?
In a matter of seconds, blue lights filled the viewports as the Falcon was jettisoned back into hyperspace. TIE fighters broke off, but one ship came from what appeared to be out of nowhere, hidden amongst old space debris. It was the Slave One piloted by the bounty hunter Boba Fett. He tracked the vector of the Falcon's trajectory and soon relayed information back to his current employer. Wherever the Falcon was ending up, the Empire now had some idea of where to look. But Boba wasn't finished just yet. Even though his bounty was location only, the man piloting the Falcon had another bounty on his head that could be claimed, dead or alive, and now was as good a time as any to attempt to claim it.